So it has been a while that I didn't make a video that discuss for the chemistry trial paper. So today I'm going to discuss this paper with you, which is from the Sekolah Berasrama Penuh. So this is the latest trial paper. For the last year. Okay, so let's get started. So let's look at the first question. So which of the following substances exist as the molecules at the room temperature? So actually these are just ask you to know to test your understanding on the physical state of metal. Chlorine exists as the gas, okay? So for sure it will be it will exist as the molecule form. And then potassium is actually a metal, and then hence it is a solid. So the same goes to carbon, it is also a solid. And then for krypton, it is a group 18 element, so which is also a member from the noble gas. Okay, noble gas, and it exists as the monoatomic molecule. And and chlorine is the diatomic molecule. So actually for this question we have chlorine and krypton as our answer. Okay, so next, who is the scientist that discovered electron? So for this kind of questions you need to at least memorize a bit the significant contributions by these scientists. For example, like in this question we are going to know who is the scientist that discovered the electron. So the answer would be J.J. Thomson. Okay, these two questions is considered easy. Okay, so the third question, which of the following statements explain why the carbon 12 was chosen as the standard atom to determine the relative atomic mass and the relative molecular mass? So this is actually quite popular, so you need to know why we choose this carbon 12 as our standard. So it is because the carbon is easy handle. Okay, it is very easy to handle because it is a solid. Okay, so we choose it. For example, it does not wet any surfaces or what, so and it is dry and solid, so it is easy to handle. Okay, so this is the answer. So 4. So this is an apparatus set up to determine the empirical formula of the magnesium oxide. So let's test you the understanding on what is the chemical formula for the magnesium oxide. So it is MgO. Okay, so if you manage to know what is the chemical formula for magnesium oxide, so we're done. Okay, so next, which of the following step is correct to ensure that the magnesium ribbon is burned completely? So it is actually what we can do to make sure the magnesium has burned completely 100%. So A, rub the magnesium ribbon with the sandpaper, no. Open the crucible at intervals during heating, no. C, heat magnesium ribbon strongly in the cover crucible, no. The answer is D, which is repeat the heating, cooling and weighing process until a constant mass is obtained. So let's say for today you burn the magnesium, right? For example, we have multiple time intervals for that. Okay, for example 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes, 4 minutes, so on and so forth. So at first you get 5 grams, then at the second minute you get 4.5 grams, and then the same for the 3 minutes and 4 minutes. So this constant mass actually tells you that the magnesium has actually reacted completely with the oxygen. Okay, so for the next question, which of the following are the uses of the helium gas? So this is from the Form 4, Chapter 4, under the topic of periodic table of elements. Okay, so you need to know this helium is actually come from the group 18. Okay, noble gases. It is one of the noble gases. And what is the usage? So you have no choice. You need to also memorize it a bit, okay? So the answer will be first and the second. It is used in the weather balloon and used in the oxygen tanks for the divers. So the answer is A. Okay. So 6. Which of the following substances produce the yellow color when a universal indicator is added to it? Okay, so the things you need to know is that universal at pH equals to 7, your universal indicator is green color. I think I also made the videos on discussing the topical questions for AC and BESS, and I also already mentioned this. So if you can, and then you can go and watch for the video. So the universal indicator, so for pH less than 7, universal indicator will have the yellow color or orange color depending on how is the exact pH it is. And then for pH more than 7, the universal indicator will be dark blue or purple, depend on the pH how strong the pH it is. So okay, our answer is we want to find what substance produce yellow color, isn't it? So it is, so for pH less than 7, it is the acid. Okay, it is the acid. So the answer would be C, tomato. Milk is a neutral substance, and then blood is actually a little bit of alkaline, and then salt as well. I think this is the repeated question that I saw before in the other trial paper. Okay. So next, this is the diagram that shows the formations of the metallic bond of magnesium. Okay, it tells you this is a metallic bond. Okay, so we know that metallic bond is formed when the metal is are heated, and then it will produce delocalized electrons. So we have this positively charged ion known as the cation, right? So actually the blue dot is the electron. Okay, it is the bonding between the delocalized electron with the cation. So next, nickel powder is used as the catalyst, okay, for the hydrogenation of ethene. How does the catalyst increase the rate of reaction? So you need to know that this is your rate of reaction, right? You need to know what is the function of using catalyst. So the answer is A. Catalyst will always related to the activation energy, which is the EA. So it will lowers the activation energy, or sometimes you will see provide the alternative pathway for the reaction. So they are also, so both statements are having the same meaning for it. Okay. So next question. The national monument of Malaysia is made up of an alloy. Which of the following are the composition of the alloy? So you need to know what is alloy. Okay, so you need to know what is alloy. So actually alloy is a mixture of it is a mixture of many, or we can say 2 or more metals. So for this question, you need to know the national monument. Okay, it is made out of alloy, and then what exactly is the alloy is. So the answer is copper and tin. Okay, we have many types of alloy, such as the brass, the bronze, so on and so forth. So I will left this question for you to find, for you to know, okay, what is the main component for the national monument. Okay, next question. Which of the following are the properties of ceramides? So ceramic is an electrical insulator. It is chemically inert. So the answer is A, 1 and 2. Okay, next question. The colorless potassium bromide solution turns brown when the substance X is added to it. So what is X? So okay, do you notice that all these options given is actually referring to the redox reaction, right? Okay, so it says that one of the observations that we get is the potassium bromide. Okay, the chemical formula for potassium bromide is KBr, right? So actually we are focusing on the bromide, okay? So the bromide ion actually lost its electron, right? So it also matched that this bromide ion actually at first is colorless, right? And then it turns brown when the substance X add into it, okay? So we have this substance X is added. So the bromide ion lost 2 electrons to form Br2 and 2 electrons. So it lost 2 electrons. So lost electron in terms of for the redox reaction, it is oxidation. Okay, this bromide is actually undergo oxidation. So we are going to find. So it is undergo the oxidation. So obviously it is the reducing agent, isn't it? For this potassium bromide, it is the reducing agent. So actually we are going to find for oxidizing agent which undergo reduction. Oh, wait. So our answer will be A, okay? Anything that starts from acidified potassium manganate or acidified potassium dichromate, it is the oxidizing agent. So this question shows the natural polymer, which is a staple food for Malaysian, and we are going to find what is the monomer of the polymer. So this is actually rice, right? So for sure, it contains a lot of starch or carbohydrate. So the basic monomer for making the carbohydrate is actually the glucose, okay? Amino acid make up the protein. Isoprene is actually it's a rubble, okay? It make up the rubble, and then cellulose make up the plant cell wall. I don't know why this question a bit like biology. Okay, so next. So this table shows us the structural formula of 4 different compounds. And we need to find which of the following is the ester. So ester will have a carboxylate group. So the carboxylate group is something COO. Okay, C double bond is a bit like C double bond O and then O. So we can identify the structural formula, the functional group for ester. So the answer is C. Okay, that is the highlighted portion is the functional group of the ester. So the answer is D. And then let's look at PQR. Okay, P is actually an alkene because it contains the double bond. And then Q is the alcohol as it contains the hydroxyl group. And then R is the carboxylic acid which contains the carboxyl group. Okay. So next, when the substance P is added to the distilled water, the temperature increases and the container becomes hot. So this is a description for the exothermic reaction, right? So this you need to so for answer this kind of question, you need to remember at least a few examples for the exothermic reaction or endothermic reaction. This is related to the heat of reaction, the chapter of heat of reaction. So the answer is D, sodium hydroxide. So when we dissolve the strong alkali in the water, and then it will form it will release the heat to the surrounding, and that's why when we touch the container it is hot,